Hello, everyone. Hey, Gyro. Hey, girl. Drea, you made it. Hey, girl. How are you? How are you guys doing today? Well, tonight, anyway. Yes, you made it. Yay. Hey, family. Hey, Cuzzo. Hey, Alicia. Hi, sister. How's everybody doing tonight? How has y'all day been? Talk to me. Talk to me. Hey, fam. Hello, overcomers. Welcome in, everybody. How's your day been going? How was your day today? How was the weekend? Talk to me. How's it going? Today I had an okay day. It wasn't a bad day. I can't complain. It wasn't a bad day. However, sometimes you have moments and throughout the day or things that happen throughout the day. And today was one of those days where I felt like my boss was trying me a little bit. But it's all good because I'm gonna get her right. I'm gonna get her right. But overall, a good day. Good conversations with people. So we made it. And nigga, we made it. I'm good. I'm happy that you're busy, Alicia. I'm so happy. How's your new space going, by the way? How's it going? Hey, Padre. Hey, sis. My father's on again, y'all. He made it. He not sleeping. Hello, everybody coming in. Welcome to Resilience Talks, a live series featuring you. How are you doing today? How was your day today? Let me know in the comments. I'm reading each and every one of them. And just want to preface this by saying, if I miss a comment or if I miss something, don't charge it to my heart. Charge it to my vision because I can't really see sometimes. So I will do my best to get to each comment, but I am reading the comments. Okay, Alicia. Well, I'm excited for you, girl. Congratulations. It's super excited for you. And when it comes, let us know, because we finna celebrate with you. We finna celebrate. Hey, JC. Welcome in. Aw, of course. Hey, JC. How you feeling? How's everybody doing tonight? So real quick, I want you guys to put in the chat what you need God to do for you, or what do you need from God tonight. We're talking about endurance, right? Enduring through the storm. Okay, cousin, I'm all the way tapped in. Period, cousin. I'm good, JC. Thank you for asking. I'm good. So I see Padre. I see you not sleep. I see you. Thank you for joining. And so we've been talking about enduring and endurance through the storm. And I think this is going to be a couple of weeks series because I think that so many of us are just going through a lot. And I can only speak for myself, right? Because everything that I'm talking about, it literally relates to me and what I'm going through. And I like to get up here, and I don't want to be one of those people that just come up here and just talk, just to talk, or to say things that don't really resonate, or just to get up here to do something, right? I want to make sure that I'm getting up here and I'm being authentic, I'm being genuine, and these are things that I can actually relate to. And so I can help and I can talk about it because these are things that I've been through or I'm going through. So this will be a series that we continue for a couple of weeks. It is endurance through the storm. And I know last week we talked about what that means, what endurance means. But before we get into all of that, hey, L. Walpool. Hey, how are you? I'm not sure who that is, but I'm sure you're from the ALU family. So hey, Welcome in. Welcome to Resilience Talks. Before we get into our, main message, what do you guys need from God? And y'all can put that in the chat while I'm talking, because I'm going to chat a little bit before we get into our lesson. But what do you need from God? I know for a fact that for me, I think I need God to give me the strength to endure. And what I mean by that is the strength to endure, because I know a lot of times for me, oh, hey, Lolita. Hey, girl. Hey, Bookie. I didn't know that was you. Hello. Everybody's username is so different on Instagram versus TikTok. So I'm like, who is that? But hey, girl, welcome in. So asking God to give me the strength, because I know a lot of times I struggle in my mind. And I could put y'all in my business because, again, I'm going to be vulnerable with y'all, because I want to, I want to make sure that you guys know that I'm being as authentic as I can be. But also, I want to share my story with you guys and hope that it'll help somebody, right? So I need God to help me in my mind, right? Because I know I have this, anxiety and fear, they be playing in my face. Like, they be playing in my face, and I be having to, duck and dodge them, and, I be having to fight them, because they really be playing with me. But it's something that, I have a lot of questions, like, well, should I do this? Should I do that? Or am I being perceived this way or that way? It's just a lot of questions in my mind. And so sometimes it is hard to combat that, especially when I'm fighting. When it seems like I'm fighting on my own, sometimes it's hard to always want to, fight those thoughts and fight those feelings, fight those fears, fight those anxieties. But look, I trust God, and I believe, and I'm acting in my faith, right? I'm moving and I'm walking in my faith. I'm not just saying it. I'm not just asking God. I'm actively combating thoughts. Like, we out here, we tussling real life, tussling. Hey, Des, welcome in. Hey, Terry. I see y'all in the comments. Alicia said clarity. Absolutely. Absolutely. I need God to help me see things. Clarity. Yep, Drea. Yep. You and Lolita need the same thing, clarity. I need God to help me walk in my purpose. Yes. 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 Absolutely. Absolutely. Help me walk in my purpose. And it's like, it's one thing to identify what that purpose is, right? You identify what your purpose is, and it's like, okay, God, well, how do I walk in it? Because I don't want to do anything that's contrary to what you would have me to do, right? And I think that's when discernment comes in, and also just having that support to keep you going, to push you, to encourage you, because it's hard. It's hard to walk in that purpose. Some people struggle with identifying what that purpose is. Other people struggle with, okay, well, how do I fulfill this purpose? In what medium, in what mode, how do I do this? Absolutely. Hey, Shari. Hey, Aaron. Welcome in, everybody. I'm just asking, what do you guys need from God? What do you need from God? It could be this week. It could be this month. It could just be this season of your life. What do you need from God? And I see a lot of y'all commenting. Hey, Marvin. Welcome in. Hey, Consuelo. Welcome in. Welcome in, everybody. We are doing the enduring through the storm. That's what we're talking about this week. And for the next couple of weeks, we'll be talking about it because I think it's a super important topic. And my hope is that you guys get whatever it is that you need. Encouragement, inspiration, motivation, clarity, whatever it is that you guys need. I pray that y'all get it from this series. And again, we're all in this together. I hope that, you guys all feel that sense of love and connection through these chats and through this series. Okay? All right, everybody. Welcome in, Terry. I see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Hey, G, thank you for joining. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. All right, so let's get right into it because my lesson isn't super long today. It's not super crazy. But we were talking about what endurance means, right? And it means to suffer patiently. And we talked about this last week, how it's almost oxymoronic for us to suffer patiently. How do we suffer and then do it patiently, right? It's like it's against our natural ability. Like, we don't want to suffer, first of all. And to say, oh, well, now you have to suffer and endure it for a long time, like, and be patient about it. It's like, come on now, you ask for a lot. But that's what endurance means, right? And so I remember when I told you guys about the story of how I got really sick, and, you know, my heart was failing at this point, and I had to go to the hospital, and, you know, I got diagnosed with dilated cardiomyopathy. And, you know, I went through that whole thing with the coma, then having to go to rehab. And so during that period, you know, I was released from the hospital. But for 8 years after that, I suffered with heart disease, right? With dilated cardiomyopathy. And what that meant was that I had lots of hospitalizations every year. There were just things that I could not do. Like, I felt limited, and not just feeling limited, I was limited in what I could do, right? I couldn't go out and be, you know, drinking and doing whatever with the teenagers, right? I was 17 at the time. I couldn't go out and do all that stuff, you know, because I was sick, you know, and I was taking medication, lots of medication. And so I couldn't do all the things that maybe I wanted to do, or all the things that I thought I should be doing at my age, right? I couldn't do all that stuff. Even with the medications that I was taking, they had side effects on me. So there were times where I couldn't breathe, and I had to take water pills. I don't know if any of y'all have like old people diseases like me, but, you know, I had to take Lasix to help me, you know, release fluids in my body, because I would swell up so much, and then I wouldn't be able to breathe, and then it would just be a whole thing. Then that means a hospitalization. There were times where I had blood clots, where I had to get hospitalized for with blood thinners so that my blood would thin out so I wouldn't have any more clots. But over this 8-year span, right, from me having this dilated cardiomyopathy, right, sis, and old people diseases. And I'm going to say that because, you know what? I feel like we're young, and these shouldn't be things that we suffer with. But whatever, it is what it is, right? And so over this 8-year span, I felt very limited in my life, and I felt like, you know, I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do. And it made me sad. It made me frustrated. It made me angry too, because I felt like I had to grow up faster than other people. While, you know, at 21, people were clubbing, you know, and not to say I didn't go out, because I did, you know, I was trying a little bit, you know, I was trying to hit a 1-2, you know, a 1-2 step and a 1-2 step, you know what I'm saying? I tried, you know, but at 21, people were outside doing whatever, and me, I felt like I had to, okay, well, you can't drink this now because you have to take this medicine at this time. And it felt like I was just very old, you know, like I had this huge responsibility on me. And it made me question God. And I kept asking him, like, okay, God, like, what did I do? Did I do something to deserve this? Like, did I trying to sway and was I was trying to sway a little bit. I kept asking God, what did I do? There had to be something that I did that made you decide to give me this heart disease. Out of nowhere too, right? It was just out of nowhere at 17 years old. It's like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, why me, God? Why me? What did I do? And so it made me angry. It made me doubt God. It made me frustrated with him, and even frustrated with myself, because there were things that I was trying to do, and it was like, baby, you might as well just go on and sit down, because you know this ain't your lane, right? And so I was going through a lot during this 8-year period. So from 17 to 25 was, you know, me having to deal with this dilated cardiomyopathy and all the stuff that came along with it. And for those of you who have certain diseases or certain struggles with their health, you understand what I'm saying, right? Especially if you got it when you were younger, you understand exactly what I'm saying. Hey, Tara, nice to see you, my love. Hey, Mama Ruth, nice to see you. Thank you for joining. But for those of you who understand what it's like to deal with physical diseases, you know what I'm talking about. And so obviously I had this whole this whole thing about, oh God, like, why me? Why this? Why that? And so knowing what I know now, and obviously like I'll tell more of that story at another time, but knowing what I know now, I realized that it wasn't that God had some agenda against me or that he hated me or he just wanted me to suffer, right? It was because God recommended me. And let me explain what I mean by that, right? Sometimes God is not punishing us for something we did, something we said, something we thought, because we went to this place and we shouldn't have gone to that place, because we slept with that person and we weren't supposed to sleep with that person, because we drank this drink and we did this drug and sometimes it's not even all of that, right? Sometimes it's because God recommends us. And what do I mean? I have a special guest with me tonight, right? And his name is Job, right? We're gonna bring our bro Job to the table, right? Let's bring Job in. Okay, so if you don't know, Job is someone in the Bible, right? I don't want to say character. I'm going to say a person in the Bible, right? So Job is a person in the Bible, and we talk about this story all the time, but let me just explain the story in like a short remix, right? So, God is having this like convention with his angels. They're going to talk to God or whatever. And, the devil's like, well, I'm just going to tag along. Satan said, I'm going to tag along. And so in this little convention, Satan is like, well, God's like, what you doing here? Because, you don't belong here, but what you doing here? And he's like, well, I'm looking for who I may devour. I'm scouring the earth and I'm looking to see who I may devour. And God says, well, have you tried my servant Job? Like, he recommends Job because Job is in the Bible. He's described as this man who was blameless and upright. Like, he stayed away from sin. He was doing what he needed to do. He was God's soldier, And it also says that in the Bible, Job he had all these riches. He was wealthy. He had some shmoney, okay? That's what Job had. He had shmoney. I'm trying to get like Job, okay? And so he talks about this in the Bible, right? How Job was this blameless and upright man. And so God recommends Job to Satan. I wish, like, God, you recommending people? Like, you recommending? Hey, like, recommend me, God. He did already. I don't want no more problems with him. But anyway, so he recommends Job to Satan. He says, okay, if you think that if you take away his riches, if you take away Job's riches, his wealth, if you think that he'll turn against me, try him. Try him. And so Satan does what he does. He goes and he takes all his riches away. He kills his whole family. He strips Job of all his possessions, worldly possessions. And even then, Job still prays God, right? He still prays God. And so Satan goes back to God and he's like, oh, well, since he didn't curse you there, let me try a little bit more. Let me curse his body. Let me take his body and let's see what he does then. Right. And so it goes on and Satan does what he does. He put boils all over this man's body, put him in agonizing pain. And yet and still, Job hangs on to his faith. And some of you may be asking, well, why would God test Job, right? Why would God recommend Job? Here's the thing. Some may argue on the surface that God is testing Job or recommending Job to Satan just to prove Satan wrong, right? That would be the surface explanation. But I want to argue that God decided to choose Job not only to show Job who he is, right, but to show him who God is in his life, to reveal himself so God can reveal himself to Job, but also take Job on his journey of spiritual growth. Sometimes in our lives, we go through situations and we feel like, oh, I couldn't possibly handle this. Like I can't do this anymore. But Job, let me tell you, baby, he went through it. Like he went through it. And yet he still clung to his faith. And he clung to the fact that, hey, there was nothing that I did that could have warranted this, right? Nothing that I did that could have warranted this. But hey, God's will be done. And he talks about how dare I only praise God when things are good? How dare I only have faith in God when things are good? No, he said, no, I'm going to accept the bad too. Like, yeah, this is heavy. Yes, this is rough, but I still have my faith in God, right? I still trust God. His will be done. Now let's talk about it. Job did do some complaining, right? He did, he did talk about it. He did talk about it. But at the end of the day, he clung to that faith. And so I say to you, right, we're talking about how do we endure, right? How do we endure in this season where things are going crazy in our lives? Things are rough. Things are, topsy-turvy. How do we endure when we feel heavy, when it feels like there is no way out of no way? Hey, y'all, I see y'all coming in. I see y'all. Hello, everybody. Hey, Miss Green. Hey, y'all, I see y'all comments. Girl, this is good. Amen, that's good. Period. I see y'all. Thank y'all for encouraging me. I'm happy. I'm hoping that this is encouraging you guys, right? And so we talk about how do we endure through the storm, right? How do we do that? One of the things that I love about Job is that even through it all, when all his possessions were stripped from him, when everything was gone, when he didn't have no family, he barely had any friends, people were scared to be around him because he looked physically like he was just, ugly and bruised and hurt, after Satan did his big one, or so he thought. We'll talk about that later. But so Satan thought he did his big one. So Job was like, he was hurt, he was bruised, he was beat up, he was ugly, his skin was boiling over, his skin was coming, so he was going through a lot. But even through all of that, the first thing he did when he got the news about his family and his possessions being stripped away, he fell down on his knees and he worshiped God. Fell down on his knees and he worshiped. And I say that to say, sometimes just worship. You ain't gotta say nothing. You ain't gotta go tell this person and that person. Start with worship. That's the best thing we could do when we going through our storm, right? And I know some of us are like, well, I'm a worship, but I'm still heavy. Worship is not necessarily for you to be released of all your problems, right? Because worship may not necessarily solve your problems, right? But worship is, hey, God, I recognize that I'm going through it, but I'm going to turn my attention to you and I'm going to turn my focus to you. That's what worship is about, right? I'm still praising you nonetheless because you've been good to me. Even if you never do another thing for me, you've still been good for me. I still can praise you. I still can worship you, right? And so that was the first thing that Job did. Once he heard about all the craziness that was going on, he worshiped God. And I dare to encourage you guys, when you're going through your storms, right? Take a minute to just worship him. Go in your secret place. That's what people say, right? We say, go in your secret place. And your secret place is, the place that you feel the most comfortable, where you can worship God and freedom and in truth, right? Worship him in the way that, in a way where you don't feel restricted or limited or bound by anybody or anything. Go in your secret place and worship God, right? Worship him. The second thing is, Job was not afraid, and I love this about him. Job was not afraid to talk to God and challenge God and use his voice, right? Because if you read Job, now let me tell y'all go and read Job. Homie was chatting a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you. Homie was chatting. Soliloquies. He was talking a lot. However, I say that to say, Job was unafraid to use his voice. Talk to God. It's okay to keep it 1,000 with him, right? It's okay. He's not gonna be mad at you for telling him what he already knows that you already feel, right? He's not gonna be upset with you. He's not gonna be disappointed in you or frustrated with you. Talk to him about how you feel, because if we're being honest, that might be the only person that you could keep it a stack with, right? That might be the only person that you could be 100% honest with, because let's keep it real. Some of us, we could talk to our friends, but we can't talk to our friends about everything, right? There are some things that we keep to ourselves that only you and God know, right? Can we be honest? I know I can be honest, because there are some things I would never say, okay? About myself, about my family. There are some things I would never say. That's just between me and God. So I encourage you, when you are going through all this stuff, right? Keep it a stack with God. Talk to him. Tell him that Job was telling him, I'm in pain. I'm tired. I don't want to go on. God just struck me down. This man was going in. You hear me? He wasn't playing with God. He was I wish I was never born type stuff. He was going in because he just felt it, and he felt comfortable enough. He felt comfortable enough to go to his father. If I'm going through it, I want to go to my father and talk to my father about what is going on, what's stressing me out, what's worrying me. And trust, he don't get tired of hearing you. He wants to hear his child. How else will you have a relationship with him if you don't talk to him? How else? Right? All right. So that was the second thing he did. Third thing is, let me see. The third thing is, right? He stood firm in his faith. That was the third thing that he did, or that's what he did throughout the whole book of Job, right? Although he's complaining, although he's saying, oh God, I'm in pain. Oh God, I'm hurt. Oh God, I'm tired. He's like, but nonetheless, thy will be done. Like, nonetheless, I still praise you. Nonetheless, I still worship you. Nonetheless, I still have respect for you, right? Because I know that everything won't be good in my life, and that's okay. Yes, I'm hurting. I'm beat down to the ground, but I'm still going to praise you. Stand firm on that faith, right? Faith is believing in things that we cannot see. Believing that I'm healed before I get healed. Believing that I got the job before I even got the job. Believing that I got a promotion before I even got a promotion, right? It's about believing things before we even see it. And Job understood, like, although I feel this way now temporarily, right? In this season, although I feel it right now, that may not be the end, right? That's not the end result. And so I can go to my Father and I can say this, I can say that, I can say that I'm hurting and I'm in pain and still trust you and still believe in you and still have faith in you, right? Yes, we walk by faith and not by sight, right? Even when it's hard, we have faith. It's easy to have faith when things are good, right? It's easy to have that faith when things are going well for us. But when things are bad, that's when our faith is stretched. That's when it's challenged. And that's when we grow, when our faith is stretched, right? I see y'all in here. I'm reading y'all comments. I was going to say, well, by faith and not by sight. Absolutely. The substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things we cannot see. Absolutely. Absolutely. We can't serve God out of our own convenience. That's good, Destiny. That's good. We can't serve God when we want to. Or when we feel like it. Right? It don't work that way. That's not how a relationship works. If I worship God when I felt like it, baby, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know. I may not be worshiping him all the time. Let me just say that. I may not be inclined to worship him all the time. If it was up to me and my convenience, right? But I understand the power of my worship, right? I understand the power of me serving God because I know who he is. Right? I know who he is. And not just what he does, but I know who he is to me. And the last thing that I'm going to leave y'all with, right? The last thing I'm going to leave y'all with is how we endure is expect God to show up. Expect it. And I know that's easy to say. It's so easy to say when, it's easy to say it. But when we actually have to live that out, it's very difficult. Because when things are not adding up to what we needed to add up to, it's like, well, look, baby, where is God? Because, baby, I don't see him, okay? I don't hear him, right? Sometimes that's how it feels. It's like, even now, I'm like, God, I feel so heavy. Like, I feel heavy. Like I feel like there's a weight on me, right? And it's heavy, it's hard, and I don't know if I can do this. I don't know, right? But I'm still expecting God to show up. Right. And I know we say, oh, he may not come when you want him. Right. God's going to come when he comes. And I expect him to show up. OK. Right. I know I'm going through this storm, but I expect God to show up. I called my Father. I talked to my Father. Best believe he don't play about me. God don't play about you. Best believe he going to show up. Right. Yes, absolutely, Jaira. Enduring with expectation. Absolutely. Enduring with expectation. Expect him to show up. And let's not talk about your feelings, right? Because sometimes God is not heard. Sometimes he just felt. He's just there with you. The whole time Job was going through, God ain't never leave him, right? God never left. He was silent for a little bit. He was silent. He didn't say much. Because you know what? He got to let Job, let him get it out. Let him express himself. Let him go through a little bit, right? What they say, oh, the teacher is always silent during the test, right? Sometimes God got to let us go through some stuff. And he don't always have to say something, right? Because once God says something, it is what it is, right? It is whatever he says. I ain't going to be speaking a whole bunch either. If I'm not speaking a whole bunch if I was God too either. Because everything I say must come true. So yeah, I'm a chill. I'm a wait. I'm gonna make sure that what I say is what I mean, and what I mean is what I say, right? If I was God, I ain't God, but I'm just saying if I was, right? So during this time, during this season in your life, when you are going through, when you are struggling with stuff, worship God, continue to worship God, continue to talk to God, right? Be honest with him. And I can't express that enough. Keep it a stack with him. He's not afraid of your issues, and he's not afraid of your feelings. You ain't bruising God's ego. You ain't hurting his feelings when you tell him how you feel. Cause baby, I go to God and I just be like, look, yeah, I'ma need you with all the facial expressions, with all of the neck. Yeah, he know who he made. Yeah, God, I'm finna keep it a stack with you because I'm struggling right now. And I need you to help me. I need you. You know? Yeah, Shari, yeah. I'm all of that. With all the attitude in the world. Yep. Look, I'm honest. I'm gonna tell you. That's how I go to God. Keep it a stack with him. 3, stand firm in that faith. And 4, expect him to show up for you. God is not gonna leave you high and dry by yourself. He ain't gonna leave you high and dry like that. Expect God to show up. And so fast forward to the end of that story, right? After Job is tested, after Job goes through his trials, after Job goes through his tribulations, God gives him double for his trouble. And there's some stuff that goes on in between that we'll talk about next week, talking about our support system, right? Because Job had a couple of friends that showed up on his behalf. And yeah, let's just say that they had good intentions, right? They had good intentions, but the wrong perspective. And sometimes our support system, they have the right intentions, but the wrong perspectives. And so they can try to steer us in the wrong direction. But we'll talk about that next week, right? At the end of the story with Job, it says that God gives him double for his trouble, right? He gives him double, right? And he gets all his riches back, and God heals him and all the other stuff, right? But we'll discuss that later. But I also, after the 8 years, right, after I had gone through those 8 years of my dilated cardiomyopathy, God saw fit that I was on the heart transplant list because my heart had failed, and I received my heart within 2 weeks of being on the transplant list, which is literally never a thing. And so going from a life where I felt limited, restricted, and just broken to a life where I have full capacity to do all the things that I want to do, God had recommended me, right? Recommended me. And I'm going to say God recommended me to go through something like that so that he could bless me, so that he could show me his heart. A lot of times we go through the storm and it's like God just wants to show who he is to us, right? He just wants to show who he is to us, what he can do for us. He wants to show us his heart. He wants to reveal to us what he can do, how much I love you. This is what I'm going to do because I love you this much. Yes, you had to go through this, but I was growing your spirit, man. I wasn't worried about your human form. I wasn't worried about that. I wasn't worried about your body because I got you, right? I'm not worried about this, right? I'm worried about your spirit. And so I had to take your spirit man through this journey. I had to take your spirit man through this process so that your spirit man will be stronger, right? So that your spirit man will have more endurance, right? More resilience to get through the next thing that's going to come, right? And then the next thing that's going to come. So he's giving us the opportunity for him to be who he is, for him to be God. He'll put us in impossible situations, or we'll put ourselves in impossible situations, right? Either or, we'll be in these impossible situations, but it's not because, we're meant to fail, we're meant to be defeated. It's because God is getting ready to show us who he is, right? He's getting ready to reveal to us what he's about. And sometimes that's all I need. God, show me, because I don't see it. And I need you. Show me your heart. Show me what you want to do for me. Show me your vision. Show me your plan for my life. Show me, God. This is why I have faith in you, because I know that you're going to do, I know you're going to come through. I don't know how, I don't know when, I don't know why either, right? Because if we're talking about it, God don't have to do a thing for us. And if we're being honest, he probably shouldn't. I don't know why, I don't know when, I don't know where, I don't know how, but I know you are. That's me expecting God, right? And I know it's hard to do that in the midst of a storm, because all you see is the storm. When you're in the middle of it, all you see is the clouds, all you see is the wind, all you see is the rain, and all you can feel is all of that, right? You feel all of that in the middle of the storm. You don't see the sun, right? You don't see none of that. You don't see the light. You don't see all the beautiful things. You see the heaviness of it all. But I dare you to uncover your eyes. I dare you to change your perspective. I dare you to reframe, to think, hey, maybe I'm not suffering because God hates me or God is tired of me. Maybe I'm suffering because God recommended me. God has recommended you. He chose you to go through this battle. Not your sister, not your brother, not your friend. He chose you to go through it. And how beautiful will it be when you come out of it and you can say, well, all right, God, now I understand. Now I understand why I had to go through what I had to go through. I get it. It's clicked, right? How many of us have gone through things and it's like, oh, well, yeah, this is what I learned from this. Yeah, because you were supposed to learn it. You wouldn't have learned it unless you had gone through what you've gone through, right? You wouldn't be able to talk about it or testify about how you overcame it if you didn't go through it, right? And so a lot of times that's what we have to do it. We have to go through our process. But God is always with us, and God is watching us, right? Expect him to show up. Expect him. Even when it seems difficult and it seems hard, right? Put yourself in a position to hear from God. Put yourself in a position. Go in your secret place. Talk to him. Cry it out. Put on some worship music. Read your Bible, right? Everything we need, or a lot of things we need, is in the Bible. We just don't read it. We don't read it enough to understand it or to apply it to our lives, to take from it and apply it to our lives. And I'll be honest, I'm still learning a lot of things in the Bible. There are things that I've heard for years from being in church, right? And I have to go back and be like, okay, well, I learned this in church, right? Church culture, but is it actually biblical, right? Is it actually biblical? Can I actually apply this to my life? Is this actually what God says about me? Or is this actually what God says about this? Like, I have to go back and reread some stuff. Like, I'm rereading Job now. I've heard this story growing up for several years. However, it's different when I'm much older and I can understand it because I've been through some stuff, right? I've been through a little bit of stuff. And it's like, oh, this makes sense to me. This clicks. Oh, now I know what it means to endure, right? Now I know what it means that I have to endure so that God can have his perfect work in me, so that I can be complete and lacking nothing. That's the word of God. That's not something someone can make up. That's the word of God, right? Nobody can make that up. That's the word. And I stand on the word, and that's why I can have faith, because I believe in God and I believe in his word, what he's saying to me, right? Read your Bible, y'all. Go in your secret place. Let me see the comments. That's real. We can't enter into his presence if we're wearing a mask. Absolutely. Vulnerability is a real thing, right? And God wants the real, raw you, not just, the performative you, the people seeking attention seeking person in you. Like, he wants the real you, raw, weave off, lashes off, no eyebrows, crooked teeth. He want all of that. He wants you. All of you, all your chaos, he wants. All of your beautiful chaos, he wants all of that. The Bible hit different when we get older. Absolutely. Absolutely. The Bible does hit different when we get older, because we start to, things just start to click a little bit more because we've experienced life. We had to go through some things. We learned some lessons. And it's like, oh yeah, oh, okay. Like, it makes sense that Job went through this and then he did that. Like, it makes sense why the woman with the issue of blood did this and she touched him. The stories start to make sense, and it's like they no longer become just Bible stories. It's like, oh, this is real life. Like, this is real. Yes, you too. Oh, thank you, Jaira. Yes, that's all I got for him. Just me, joy. That's right. That's all you can have. Look, I'm telling y'all, as real as raw as I am and as vulnerable as I am up here with you guys, right? Trust and believe. It's a lot more that I hold back on, right? Because that's just for me and God. Because there's some things, like I said, there's some things I'm never gonna say. But when I go to God in private, it's like, okay, yeah, God, I'm finna tell you everything, because at the end of the day, you already know. Like, it don't make no sense to hide, right? It don't make sense to hide. You already see me. That's like me being Eve in the garden, Adam and Eve in the garden. What y'all trying to hide for? I already see y'all, right? I already seen it. I already know it. So there's no need to hide now, right? It's like, it's no need to put on a mask. He doesn't want the performative you. He wants you. Plain, simple, all of you. Chaotic. Trust me, I go to God and I be like, God, da, 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 da. I know he be like, girl, calm down. Like, take a deep breath. Like, relax. But you know what? I'm never going to stop doing it, right? I'm never going to stop doing it, because I know when I'm going through it, the only person that I know to lean on is God, right? That is going to love me through it all. He's not going to judge me. He's not going to talk about me behind my back. He's not going to say this about... That's the only person I know to go to when I'm going through all my issues. And especially because I'm such a private person. I'm like, I struggle with being vulnerable. Like, if you know me, then you know I struggle with being vulnerable. But when it's me and him, baby, I gotta take it off. I'm like, I know I joke around a lot, and I know I play around a lot, but baby, I'm a crybaby. Like, I cry. Like, when I'm talking to God, me and him, look, baby, come wipe these tears, because I'm in there boo-hooing, because it's so real to me. It's so real to me. And I'm not telling y'all, oh, go to God and cry. Don't force your tears down. Don't do that. But go to him and be genuine and be honest with yourself first, and then be honest with God, because at the end of the day, you can't play him, right? Be honest with him. Talk to him about it. And I guarantee, no, it may not necessarily take away that storm, but it'll help you feel a whole lot better when you just say, here, God, I can't do it in my own strength. I can't do it on my own, because I feel limited. I don't think I can carry all of this by myself. Here you go. Here you go. This belongs to you. You take this, right? And obviously, I'm going to do what I need to do, right? I'm not going to sit in this mess, right? I'm not going to sit in this, and I'm not going to say, oh, woe is me, and sit down and cry all day and be depressed and sad, right? I'm going to actually take steps, right? I'm going to take steps to help myself as well. But give it to God. Like, we don't have to always carry everything on our own. And I feel like a lot of us, especially in the African American community, we have been trained, drilled to hold things, especially women. Sorry, men, but look, especially African American women, trained to carry the load in silence and not say anything. We don't say anything to our friends. We don't say anything to our family. We don't even talk to God about it, right? A lot of us don't even talk to God about it, because we've been so ingrained to carry everything and not complain about it. We don't even have room to complain about it, right? It's like, just keep going, keep going. You're strong. You're a strong, independent Black woman. Keep going, right? Not knowing that, hey, like, it's hard. When I start feeling like, oh, I'm really heavy, it's like, all right, God, here come your crying baby. I'm coming. I'm crying. And I'm just going to tell you what it is. Like, here you go. You can have that. Here you go. And I, maybe not at that exact moment, but eventually I start to feel a little bit better. It's like, okay, God, I recognize that I'm not alone in this, and that I don't have to carry all this by myself. Like, if I do, it's because I choose to, not because I have to. He said, lay down your burdens. Lay them down. That's biblical. Lay down your burdens. Give it to him. He ain't afraid of it. That's all I got, y'all. Endure well, right? Continue to endure well. Stand firm in your faith. Worship your Father. Talk to your Father, and expect him to show up. Expect him to show up and show out, okay? Expect him to show up and show out. Yes, we don't have to carry it by ourselves, absolutely. Yes, lighten the load, God. Yes, God, lighten the load. So, if I could say anything to you guys, understand that God has recommended you to go through some of the things that you were going through. It's not because he's angry or anything like that. It's because he knows. He's like, yeah, I know her. Just like he said with Job. I know Job. It's go ahead. Do what you need to do. Do your big one. Because guess what? I know my son. I know my daughter. I know their character. I know who they are. I'm not like God wasn't worried. While we may be worried, while we may be stressing, God ain't. He already know. God has recommended you. So endure well. Endure well. I know we're trained to complain and whine and about everything and everyone. But if you go to him and just talk to him and you talking to him about how you feel isn't complaining, right? Telling him you're in pain is not complaining, right? That's you just having an honest conversation with him. But when you go out and tell Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Sally, and Susie, and Billy, and Bob, and you telling them all that's going on with you, but they can't do nothing for you, yeah, then now you're complaining, right? Now you're doing that. When you're talking to God, the solution solver, problem solver, it's like, see, look, Miss Edie, look, Miss Green, just complain about your coworkers, girl. I was too, don't worry. I was just talking about my manager. Look. Endure well, expect him. Lord, I'm glad I could help Terry. I'm reading y'all comments. Somebody said, Shari said period and period. Period. This was good confirmation. I'm glad it was confirmation for you, Shari. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Endure well. Continue on this journey. I know it's hard. I know a lot of us are struggling right now, including myself. Right? We all have our different struggles. But reframe how you're thinking about it. Refocus, right? Refocus on what matters. Reprioritize the things in your life. Reprioritize God. Reprioritize spending time with God, because we say we love God, but don't spend no time with him. And I'm not just so much, I'm talking about me too, convicting myself, right? Reprioritize the things you need to reprioritize and recharge. Take some time. You ain't got to be running around with your head cut off all the time, right? You ain't got to do all of that all the time. Sometimes it's okay to just sit down and rest in God's presence. Rest in that stillness. It's okay. You're not missing anything. You're not missing anything. I promise. Whatever is meant for you, it's either going to happen now, it's going to happen later, but it's going to happen, right? I hope you put the work in. But it's okay to rest, and it's okay to be still. All right, y'all. I'm done. I just wanted to make one announcement. Very much needed. Thank you, sister. Of course, this was good. I'm glad, G. I need to hear this thing. I appreciate y'all. The Lord has revealed to me when Adam and Eve covered their sin, the first thing he said was, "Where are you?" Because he no longer recognized his creation. Yeah, that's good, Destiny. Come on, preacher, preach. That's good, Destiny. I appreciate you guys. I'm so happy that this helped. I am grateful that you guys tune in each and every week, and y'all show up, and y'all show out, and y'all comment, and y'all interact with me. I'm grateful that you guys give me this opportunity to get up here and talk to you guys about just the revelations that I have. I'm not perfect. I'm going through my stuff too, right? I'm a regular person, regular degular from Brooklyn. I'm regular degular. So I appreciate you guys for just getting up here and talking with me, having conversations with me, loving on me and accepting me for who I am. I know I'm a little crazy. I know I'm a little crazy. I know you're probably like, girl, what's wrong with her? But I appreciate y'all for real. Thank you guys for being here with me. One announcement. New York, stand up, period. New York. Brooklyn specifically. Of course, I appreciate you guys. One thing that I did want to announce. So I have some great news. I will be collaborating with oh Jesus, what is my mouth saying? I will be collaborating with the All of Us family, and so my lives will now be moving from here to Patreon, and I'll transition you guys, and we'll talk more about it. I'll be posting and sharing stuff just so that we can continue talking about this. But I'm super excited. If you don't know, the All of Us is my family. I found them on TikTok, and we worship, we praise God together, and we things are rapidly progressing, and I'm so excited that I can be a part of what's going on with the ALU family. And I just would love for all of you guys to also join in, watch my lives from there, and continue to encourage me, continue to encourage the ALU family, because there are some exciting things going on with us. And so I'm grateful and I'm thankful, especially that I can do this and that I can be there with the ALU family, because guess what? They ain't have to ask me to do it. They could have just been supporting me on here. But I'm grateful that I can be a part of the family, and that we are collabing, and it means so much to me in my heart that I can be a part of this thing that's bigger than us right now. So I'm grateful. Thank you, G. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Jaira. Thank you guys for believing in me. But yes, we will be moving our lives, and I'll give you more information about that probably next week. Just have to iron out some details, but so thankful for each and every one of you. I see Tisha. I see you, cousin. I see you, Tisha. Thank you for joining. I enjoyed this conversation. You did great. Thank you, Tara. You are truly a blessing. Thank you so much, cousin. I love you. Keep teaching, sis. So proud. Thank you, Destiny. Thank you, guys. Oh, love you too, Chris. Thank you guys for the excitement. I'm super excited. ALU, I'm telling you, if you're not involved, I got to give y'all the information so y'all can get involved. I'm telling you, it's crazy good. Not in a bad way, crazy good. And so I'm grateful, you guys. I hope that you guys got something out of tonight, out of this conversation, and carry this with you through the rest of the week. Love you guys. Carry this conversation with you guys throughout the week. When you start getting frustrated, think about, I could go to my father and talk about you. I'm gonna tell Jesus on you, right? That's why I be saying that in my head, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna tell Jesus on you. Take this conversation with you as you go through the week, as you're enduring all the things that you're enduring, and strengthen yourself, get strength from God, and just go through your process. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I thank y'all. If there be nothing else, I don't see anything in the comments. If there be nothing else, I hope you guys have a wonderful night, and I will see you all next week, Tuesday. Please be on the lookout for notifications about the lives and where they'll be streaming. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. All right. Love you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful night. All right.